Hello everyone, Drew here for Drew.Underground, back with another Breaking Rocks, 45, 46, whatever the fuck number it is. I don't give a shit at this point. All I know is that this is the stream that wasn't supposed to happen before I left Minnesota. Because last week I said that was to be the last Breaking Rocks that I did in Minnesota. Well, since then, Bud Light has decided to say, hold my beer to Disney with alienating their fan base, customers, and everything in between. But on that note, joining me this fine afternoon, or fine night for me, my younger brother, Desert Nord. Hey, bro.
Hey there. How you doing?
Well, between tired, exhausted, drinking some pop to get a little caffeine in me to get through this, and otherwise annoyed that we're even doing this in the first place, I'm fine. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, well, I'm groggy, but intrigued all the same.
So the only thing we're here to talk about today is a beer that I have never drank in my entire life. So boycotting it is not hard to do for me. Nord?
So the gist here, for anyone that doesn't already know, it's looking to hear it from us. The Anheuser-Busch Brewing Company decided about 2-3 weeks ago, I think it is now, decided to celebrate Bill Mulvaney is a
predator, if you will.
He's a man, but he maintains that he is a female.
And acts like a 12-year-old while doing some very whorish things as
the Anheuser-Busch Company decided to make a commemorative 1-year anniversary can celebrating his 1 year of being a girl.
More like 1 year of grifting the fucking world into buying into his shenanigans.
Attention seeking.
Yeah.
And they didn't. It wasn't a tell no one situation. It was a tell everybody situation. It was a go woke situation with the company. And now there's a little bit of reactionary, behavior going on with response to it now, because it wasn't quite like a full sort of like ad campaign or anything like that.
It wasn't so like a full commercial, but
it wasn't like they were just out like, hey, like we're the beer of the trans community. It wasn't quite what they were aiming for with that.
But
at the same time, it was also them actively and openly declaring support for that type of behavior.
When you throw money at a TikToker, and I use that term very loosely in his case, and you throw his face on a fucking beer can, I'm not sure what to say about all of this other than other than apparently Anheuser-Busch apparently has this big fascination now with making everyone else money except themselves.
Well,
which is exactly what's happening, because if you look at store shelves that constantly get posted on the internet,
that's the Streisand effect, though. That's what's going on here.
Yeah.
That's what the majority of the story is really about here at this point.
Yeah.
is the response. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that joke in Billy Madison about burning dog poo and the human response? Yeah. Well, this is burning dog shit and the human response. Okay. That's what this is. Okay. The human response on this is that in light of all of this, an explosion of hilarious memes have happened on the internet.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole fucking story went mainstream viral, and as it turns out, Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch as a company and all of its brands that it has, turns out most of its customer base are middle-aged males who are rather conservative and don't want anything to do with transgenderism.
And then there's also reports that in some cases, some gay bars have stopped carrying Bud Light too. So it's not even just conservative straight males either.
Because as it turns out, what was ironic about this whole situation is that there's, of course, the turf segment of feminists who don't want anything to do with it, and then there's the gays against the trans community that don't want anything to do with it, and then of course there's the rest of mainstream society that's like, what even is this? Like, I have basically the male population who have self-respect is sitting there going, okay, since beers are basically ubiquitous, and for anybody to sit there and say, oh no, Bud Light is so good, so important, so special, that I'm going to sacrifice my dignity to maintain drinking the beverage. Very few men are willing to take that L. So at this point, basically the entire brand of Anheuser-Busch, whether it's Budweiser or Bud Light, you name it, have all basically taken a $6 billion market cap hit because sales have fallen into the absolute toilet about this. And I don't know what they expected. I mean, when are companies going to finally figure out that you can either speak to your customer, or you can ignore them, or you can agitate them? You have a choice. And if you're going to speak to your customer, you need to know who your customer is. And don't get it twisted thinking your customer is somebody they're not. Because if you don't understand your customer, you will lose your customer.
And then just the other day, also, one of the CEOs at Anheuser-Busch released a statement saying basically nothing.
Oh, yeah, no, they were being cowards about the whole thing, of course.
Yeah.
Which just made it even worse for them. That wasn't going to help.
Because in his statement, he made it sound like something along the lines of, we support this, we support that. Okay, yeah, you support the troops, you support the first responders, police. You employ
fucking hope so. They aren't going to come out and say the opposite, are they? They're going to be like, oh no, we'd much rather support the first responders, firefighters, military.
But the key takeaway from what he said was, we employ all of these people through our business partners and our company, and at our company itself. In other words, kind of backhandedly saying, if you boycott us, you are responsible, the customers, for all of our employees and our partners losing their jobs. Not their decision, but you, the customer. Fuck you, Anheuser-Busch. Okay. Fuck you into the devil's asshole that you crawled out of.
Well, here's my point. Like, okay, maybe the customer is responsible for that. But who's to say the customer wasn't aiming for that goal at that point anyway? I mean, here's the thing: people in companies, especially, get things twisted, thinking that they just deserve their job. Like, okay, no, as a company, as a brand, like I said, you either have to satisfy your customer and understand who your customer is, or going out of existence. Those are your choices.
Mm-hmm.
As a company, you produce a product. That product is consumed by a certain percentage of the population, whether that's entertainment, an actual physical product, a service, doesn't matter what we're talking about. You have a customer base. You have to understand who they are. You have to care about what they care about. And if you go and step in shit like you just did with this, you have to either come back and say, look, Didn't mean anything by it. We're not trying to alienate you. We are sorry about that. But we're not trying to make our beer represent other people that you don't feel is you, because we know that they should just come out and say, look, we were trying to be including a very small minority of the population, which we felt doesn't get
First of all, if you want
If they
to
come out and say that, they're like, okay, well, at least we understand what you were doing. No, they're not going to say that. Now they're going to try and guilt trip their customers into drinking their beer. That's not going to work.
But the problem with that is they used the wrong fucking person to try to do that completely.
Oh yeah, no, like
if you want to do that, I don't know, maybe put he used to be called Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner. That's it.
It doesn't. Here's the thing. This is a beer company.
Yeah.
That hired a bunch of, for lack of a better word, retards.
Yeah.
And higher up as echelons of the company. And those woke retards got it in their head that they are a larger percent of the population than they are. Okay?
Yeah.
And then proceeded to go on a series of ventures, of ads and other things, that are explicitly exclusive to a very tiny minority of the population. Mm-hmm. I'm talking 0.1%. Very small minority of the population would give a flying shit about what they're advertising in this case. Okay. And then the other half of the country that does actually drink their beer is either pissed off at even seeing that shit because of the social implication of it. Because let's face it, when you're drinking at a bar, you're not trying to be sassy pants, virtue signaling, fucking weebo. No, you're not. You're trying to be just a man getting on with your life, trying to have some self-respect,
or you
trying to pull, tie if you want after work,
or you just want to get drunk and forget about something. But
exactly.
On the others,
the majority of their drinker base, their customer base, are guys that just want to have fucking beer and be left alone.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not trying to virtue signal. They're not trying to make themselves feel better for drinking the beer of the gay community. They're not trying to do any of that shit. Even though the gay community would be the wrong phrase anyway. This is the trans community, which is not the gay community.
Correct.
And so the whole thing is a huge mess. Basically, because Anheuser-Busch doesn't seem to know who its customers are.
Yeah.
Apparently, they think its customers are all woke. And as it turns out, the vast majority of their customers, as they're now finding out, are not woke. And actually take umbrage to wokeness and are pretty pissed about even seeing it on their beer.
I'll give you guys...
and the one thing that Anheuser-Busch really needs to get through their head is that you're not alone in the beer market. You are one of a trillion beers.
Yeah, and
People can drink other things.
And I will get into what we drink in just a minute. But first, let's look at the other side of this woke coin for just a second. Adding inclusion to a product, whatever, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just about how you fucking do it. Dylan Mulvaney, no.
No,
a man pretending to be a 12-year-old fucking girl while still having his male parts? No.
Do you know how easy it is? Unless you are trying to promote a supremacy, you know how easy it is to tell the customer to be themselves, whoever
they are? There's a better way to do a campaign like this. Like I said earlier, Caitlyn Jenner would have been perfect for this.
I don't care who the spokesperson is in this case. I don't care.
Yeah.
To me, that's irrelevant. What's relevant to me is the way they go about expressing their point of view on this. Because if all this looked like, honestly, especially in response to, the response and then the company response and all of that, and all the immature bitchy whining that's going on now. Where basically everyone is supposed to feel guilty about not drinking the beer now. I don't give a fuck if I am guilty of not supporting Anheuser-Busch's employees. Oh well, I didn't drink the shit anyway. I think it's piss water.
Yeah.
I don't think it's used. I don't think the beer is worth the fucking damn. I've never liked that shit ever. I've never liked it.
From my memory, I believe I've only taken one sip of one Anheuser-Busch beer in my entire life, and that was when I was
okay.
And that was when I was 3 years old on accident.
Here's the thing, okay?
Yeah.
Guys like us, if indeed the beer companies are actually concerned about beer drinking age male population thinks, I can tell you right now what the beer age drinking male population of the United States thinks. And it sure as hell hasn't anything to do with what they just tried to pull.
Yeah.
What the beer age drinking age population of the United States currently thinks is that, hey, I've got 1 million beers to choose from. And I do mean 1 million. It's a huge amount of beers to pick from. I could drink imported if I want. I could drink domestic. I could drink a different domestic. I could be as selective as I want to be. I could literally deliberately avoid any product I want to avoid.
So much other stuff that has alcohol in it if you're just in it for the alcohol.
So what you shouldn't do with your brand, if you're trying to get that population to stay there, keep drinking the product, buy more of the product, you should not alienate the worldview of that person. And the easiest way to not do that in this case, while still including people who are trans, is to say, hey, everybody, we're a beer that believes you should be who you want to be. And just move on. You have to go and say,
just drink our beer and just do whatever you want to.
You have to go and say we're specifically proud of a very small minority of the population? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't ever have a beer can dedicated to the average Joe out there. They've never celebrated that person. They've never celebrated their customer base, ever. Now they're celebrating basically a segment of society that doesn't even drink their fucking product. So what are they thinking, honestly? Because frankly, the person who does drink their product is feeling like, okay, you're going to make a commemorative cake for that group. What about me? I'm your actual customer. Well, hey, fuck me, I guess. All right, I'll move on to some other beer, and there they go. There goes the crowd to other beers. It's that easy, guys.
For those of you guys watching this later, since there's no one here live watching right now, if you guys want to see everything that we're talking about, go check out Black and White Network, The Quartering, and various other YouTubers who cover this topic as well.
But the core problem, that the company has is that they've gone out of their way to step into a pile of progressive leftist shit on purpose. Thinking that doing that, taking that proud leap into a pile of leftist progressive bullshit would be fine for their bottom line. And frankly, I wish companies would wise up and realize that political activism is not what people want from their products and their companies. I don't want to buy a drink and have to feel like, oh, well, I'm a political activist now since I bought a beverage. It's like, stop it with that shit. Stop it. Just fucking stop.
Clearly, no one that works at Anheuser-Busch is familiar with anything that Disney has made over the course of the last 10 years.
Oh, and Disney is definitely the front line leader in leaping into dog shit.
Well, now they got some competition as Bud Light is now going, hey, Mickey Mouse, hold my beer. But
no, and well, Mickey Mouse is drinking it anyway, but it's like he's on his fourth mortgage with multiple bankruptcies and stuff. I mean, It's I know it's a
Many
Mouse these days.
and Minnie Mouse divorced him a long time ago for Mighty Mouse.
And took the kids.
Yeah, and took Pluto with her. Yeah.
Anyway, but the thing is that certain companies will be finding out that will go broke a lot harder than others companies.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies have, gotten away with things, whereas and Anheuser-Busch is definitely one of those companies that does not have the luxury of getting away with going woke and not going broke.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, their customer base can easily and has easily moved on.
Yeah.
And
look at the store shelves and what people are buying.
Devastating.
There's almost no Coors Light in stores from what I've been seeing, which makes me happy because that's my favorite beer, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And my second favorite is obviously Samuel Adams, being born in New England. So, which, by the way, the parent company of Samuel Adams
my point, though,
is Boston.
Again, that's my
it's
point,
Boston
though,
Brewing
guys,
Company. So
guys like us that are going to go out and have beer, we can choose. We don't have to sit there and go, well, I didn't really agree with this political advertisement they put on, on the cans and stuff and all this merchandising. But I'm still going to drink it. No. If we didn't agree with it, we could easily avoid the beer. Easily. And we're doing that. We're avoiding it.
Well, you and I have our entire life.
If the company's going to actively do something to celebrate a group of people we know we don't support, for political reasons, then I just don't see how the company thinks that we're going to stick around and drink their swill because reasons. I mean, it's not different. It's not special. It's not. As much as they want to pretend like it is. Oh no, our beer is special. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not special. It's another product.
From what I've heard from people throughout the internet since all of this Bud Light shenanigans had been going down, a lot of people have been talking about how Bud Light actually tastes like piss water.
No, I know. I've always felt that way, and I've never liked it. But was I a Bud Light customer before this? No, I wasn't. I'm sure as hell I'm not going to be one now.
Neither was I, because as I said previously, and this is a good time to talk about what we do like to drink for adult beverages. In my case, I said, Coors Light, Samuel Adams. What's that?
All Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch have done in light of all this is just inform me basically that they hate me politically.
Yeah.
And so,
So on that note,
despise and view both politics and social life.
We'll get to non-beer beverages in just a minute, but in terms of beer itself, what would be your What is or would be your go-to beer then?
Well, I've had quite a few. Heineken was a good standby.
Mm-hmm. I remember trying that once.
I always liked the dark Heinekens, which they have a lot of different varieties of.
And then there's Samuel Adams with all of their different seasonal versions of their beer.
Mm-hmm. Although even a company like Leinenkugel's is a good one.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Who makes the hard iced tea business?
Oh yeah, you mean there's Twisted Tea and then there's Mike's Hard.
Twisted Tea is what I'm thinking about. Yeah. So, because
I'm not sure.
Because I do like Twisted Tea, and then before I really got into beer, it was just Mike's Hard Lemonade and Hard whatever I could get my hands on at the bar from Mike. So, but beyond that, traditionally over the years, you and I, our go-to was Captain Morgan in cola.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, the thing that
Spiced rum.
the thing that I would always lean on, and still do, frankly, is I've always leaned on the liquor side of things versus the
Yeah.
beer side of things.
Yeah.
Always.
No,
And it's been the
lately
reason
for me,
that,
it's
I
been
mean,
mostly beer than liquor. But when I still lived with my family, like Nord and Mom, it was mostly hard liquor back then. So
yeah, I mean, and the thing is that here's the way I see it, okay?
hmm
The beer companies haven't had to innovate forever. Like,
hmm
they haven't had to innovate since, I mean, probably the early 1900s.
hmm
They've never had to innovate. Uh, their product is essentially based on what percentage of the population drinks. Uh, and sort of all of it, it's all about ads, all about advertisement, all about people being able to find your drink, your beverage, for as low a price as possible, as close to them as possible.
hmm
That's all you've needed to do as a company. You haven't had to change the product. You haven't had to come up with new, cool, interesting things. If you did that, that's wonderful, but you didn't need to. Whereas in the liquor category, a lot of those companies are smaller. The brand is more obscure. The product is a little more rare. It's more expensive generally.
yeah,
It's harder to produce.
and there's
It
and there's a lot
requires
more
recipes.
and there's a lot more innovation too.
Let's put it this way: people don't. I mean, sane people don't use beer as a part of a mixer. Sane people. Sane people drink beer straight.
hmm
They have a beer or they have something else. Whereas in the case of liquor, it's most often mixed with something.
hmm
And so the creativity is way off the chart compared to beer.
Oh
The
yeah.
liquor creativity is just immense. There's a billion things you can do in the liquor category with experimentation and recipes and different things. Okay. And so there's a lot more of like actual product manipulation that can go on. Whereas in the beer category, it's straightforward, it's simple. It's make a good beer and people will drink it. And don't make any goofy ass mistakes like this is. And people won't run away screaming.
Yeah.
People are running away screaming at this point from Anheuser-Busch.
So
It's their own damn fault.
so
But I guess my point is that the reason I've always leaned on the liquor end is because it's more interesting.
hmm
It always seemed more intellectual to me.
yeah, you could make something that tastes quite good with like Captain Morgan Spice
Oh, yeah.
Rum. Like for example,
Oh, yeah.
the stuff that I've put Captain Morgan rum in: iced
Oh, yeah.
tea, Coke, Pepsi, orange soda. Hell, I've even put it in orange juice before.
Yeah, Captain Black is still my favorite thing. I mean,
Captain Black
of
is really
all.
good. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I don't
still my
disagree
favorite.
with you that that's pretty damn good. Is the black one?
Mm-hmm. I love Black Strap. It's the best.
Yes, it is. So on that note, there isn't much more to say here. I don't think, is there?
No, well, we've sort of covered the whole
Covered everything
enchilada of
yet.
this problem.
And like I said, if you want to see what we're talking about, because I don't have that technology to work with, especially right now since my desk is disassembled.
Well,
And
I
I'm
have to
moving
say
like
that
in about a week and a half or so here.
I was gonna say the what do you call it the photo you used for the video that we're doing here,
Yeah.
that was perfectly illustrative of the problem. I mean, that's
Yeah. Well,
sort
I
of
went
shows,
searching for something that would say exactly what's going on. And yeah, but
Yeah.
like I said, if you want to see uh, the message that what's his name from Anheuser-Busch sent out, go check out Black and White Network or the Quartering, because they have videos discussing that directly. If you want to see today's comments on Twitter from Bud Light actually tweeting today, go check out Black and White Network on YouTube. They covered that earlier this morning. There's a whole host of people that you can see all of this from. We're just here to give you our thoughts and our commentary on all of it. But with that in mind, future content coming from me. Tonight into tomorrow, there will be a video coming from Twitch about the most recent update to MLB The Show 23. And this update actually fixed the batting glove and the equipment glitch in the game, finally.
Wow, yay, cool.
So,
at
some point, next time we do Underground Gaming Podcast, I might have to update what I said in in the stream, is it worth it for MLB The Show, that it's probably worth buying at this point, but still not $70 worth, maybe $30 now at this point, because it's fixed now. So, but after that, there's going to be a bunch of streams on Twitch each and every single day, so I can build up a backlog of stuff to re-upload to the gaming channel on YouTube for the times that I'm not able to actually do any content. I can just bring old content from Twitch over and release it at a snail's pace over time with my moving process and whatnot. For example, the first of that content, the most recent attempt at me playing Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition, will be going to the gaming channel on YouTube next week, possibly. If not the beginning of the week, then maybe the middle of the week. We'll see. But as it is, later on tonight, after I've slept and whatnot, well, if not tonight, then tomorrow morning or during the overnight hours, I'll be live on Twitch doing God knows what with something as well. So, any content from you coming or no?
Well, I've just been busy gaming.
So you're not you're not going to do a political meme on this Anheuser-Busch shit on your channel?
Well, since I like to be out in front of them now, because it would be way on the back end. I mean, we're 2 weeks removed from this becoming a story.
Yeah, and at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to do anything, because last week I said that was going to be the last thing. But this just keeps snowballing until the point where I'm like, fuck it, we got to say something.
No, I know. It became not. That's why I said it went from like, oh, okay, another woke incident, whatever, no big deal or whatever, to suddenly, okay, now like everyone's memeing it, everyone's talking about it. It's at front page. They've lost $6 billion in market cap. It became a big thing the last week and a half for sure.
Quite.
And so it's like the Gillette thing all over again. That's the way I see it. It's like Gillette all over again.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Because Gillette screwed themselves really hard.
But before I forget, there is one announcement I do want to make here, so I don't forget about it again. The Drudat Entertainment. This channel used to be called that, and there used to be a podcast on this channel called that. We did one episode going over our memories of watching Deadliest Catch quite a while ago. Like 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, at some point, once I'm in Arizona and settled in there, Drudat Entertainment Podcast will be coming back.
Yeah.
So DDE is what it's going to be called for short, so we can have longer titles. And episode 2 will come at some point, and that's just going to be for talking about music, TV shows, and movies. That's it. Breaking Rocks going forward will just be for bullshit like this. And then underground gaming is not going anywhere. So that's staying on the gaming channel. So as it is, that's the future plans for the future. The entertainment podcast will be making a return at some point in the future. When, I don't know, but trust me, you guys will know when you see the first tweet to the link to the stream on Twitter when that time comes.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, any thoughts about anything that you want to get off your chest before I end this, bro?
No, nothing really related to this.
Or anything for that matter?
No, I mean, I've just been sort of,
Yeah, I've been trying to mind my own business. Like when all of this started breaking, I was watching the Power Rangers on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was minding my own fucking business, living in my childhood for a little while.
Yeah, I was just, chugging along, doing my thing. I don't tend to dwell on such things, and it's just, if a situation happens, it's, worth noting and just sort of moving along. It's like duly noted, and then you put it in the back of your mind. You just don't forget, but you don't dwell on it either.
Yeah.
That's how this is. So, I mean, it's, it's dumb and all that, and it's interesting to always see how the majority of society is, what they're focused on. But
so to wrap this up, all I wanted to do was just keep the heat up on Anheuser-Busch with this. So,
well, I mean, I don't know. It's just funny to me. It's always funny when
although I don't know much heat we can fucking bring because there's nobody watching.
Well, and the other thing is we're not actually even customers. I've never drank that. I mean, when I say never, no, I actually have. It's just that I never drink it again after I drank it. Okay.
Yeah, and when I say never, the only Anheuser-Busch beer that I remember ever drinking was when I was 3, and it was an accident because I thought it was a can of soda.
Yeah.
So, in other words, I thought I was being bad by taking a sip of somebody's soda, and it tasted like someone put dirt and water in a can.
Yeah, and so I guess the summary of all that is we're not customers, and at this rate, we're never going to be. So,
I was never planning to in the first place.
No.
And then this happened, and we're like, well, and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny from our point of view.
Yep.
And honestly, I understand why Travis Tritt, John Rich removed Bud Light advertising from whatever they're doing. And I understand why Kid Rock did what he did with his cases of it.
Yeah, it's really, it's really illustrated that, like, this is who their customer base was, but it's not now.
Now I look forward to seeing Kid Rock on camera sipping on a Coors Light now.
There's just so many to pick from. I mean, I'll go with European beer if I have to.
And hell,
these American companies don't know how to.
And hell, I'm pretty sure that Stone Cold Steve Austin still has his own branded beer too.
Well, of course.
So there's that. You could go buy beer from the Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin guys. And toast one with the best wrestler that there ever was or ever will be in Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just to piss off the Bret the Hitman Hart fans out there. And the best part about that was WrestleMania 13 when they both turned. Hart turned heel, Austin turned face, and the wrestling world was never the same again. That's how you do a double turn.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, Thank you guys for those who will watch this later. I appreciate you. And remember, welcome to the underground of the rebellion. I'm Drew. He's my younger brother, Rob, aka Desert Nord.
Mm-hmm.
And a quote for the day. I think I'll use one that I ended Unfiltered Brew with. War never changes.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully from fucking Arizona this time. Until someone else decides hold my beer next. God damn it. Later, guys.
Later, guys.